Hi, everyone. Henry DeVries with Agency Rainmaker TV. This is the TV show where we help marketing agency owners, digital marketing agency owners, marketing consultants, anybody in that world make it rain. And by make it rain, we mean find right fit prospects. And I have an agency owner with me today. Stephen, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, how's it going? My name is Steve Cozzolongo. I'm a husband, a father, a business owner, and founder of three different agencies, a marketing consultant, and in my free time, I obsess over all things health and fitness.
Mm. Oh, okay. It's not where we were going, but I got to ask. So, the health and fitness obsession, what do you do? Are you a runner? Or are you a weightlifter? Or what do you do?
I've done a little bit of everything. I guess I'm one of those people that falls into that camp of when you do CrossFit, you talk about CrossFit. But throughout my entire life, I've been a multi-sport athlete. I swam in college, and ever since then, it's just been ingrained in my DNA to work out every single day, to track all the metrics I possibly can, and to optimize my health and fitness in whatever way.
Nice. You know the joke about CrossFit? How do you know if somebody is into CrossFit? Don't worry, they'll tell
They'll
you.
tell you. Yeah,
Yeah, there you
exactly.
go. Okay. Uh, what do you do for clients? Is there a niche that you have, and what do you do for them?
Yeah. So we help, or I help, and my agency, Digital Position, we help e-commerce businesses unleash their ability to scale. And the
Okay.
reason why I say it that way is because in this day and age, most digital marketing agencies are full stack performance marketing agencies, right? They do a little bit of everything, or they need to be
Yeah.
able to do a little bit of everything. But the biggest problem that I see across almost every business out there looking to scale is that they suffer from fragmented marketing, right? Disconnected messaging, redundant work, channel first ideas. They chase different tactics and strategies or the shiny object that somebody on Twitter or LinkedIn is posting, and they have zero ability to connect all the different channels and all the different strategies together and have them row in the same direction.
Okay. So, is there a certain industry that you work with, or is
Yeah, so
there?
we thought about that many, many times and tried to niche down, but ultimately we love working with e-commerce businesses, particularly
Okay,
ones that are between, I would say, 2 million and up to $250 million in revenue. That's because they all run into very similar problems. The way that we
sure.
look at e-commerce businesses, though, is that we basically graph them into a quadrant based off of ticket item or ticket price, right? So if you're
Yeah.
high ticket, low ticket, and the number of SKUs that you have, so low SKU versus high SKU, that basically puts you in like a high velocity e-commerce type business or portfolio type brand. But either way, when we look at businesses, e-commerce businesses like that, we can then narrow down the strategies, the channels, the KPIs that would work best for that type of e-commerce business.
Makes total sense. Somebody once told me, "Give me four squares and I can define the world." So you have a niche.
Hmm.
They have, you don't have to say automotive or, nutraceuticals or whatever. But they have common needs, and
Hmm.
I like that you differentiated where they fit in that world. So that's great. Okay, well
Exactly.
now let's talk about making it rain. Either making it rain for these digital clients, e-commerce clients that you have, or making it rain for the agency. I'm interested in both. What would you want to talk about first?
Yeah, for the clients, especially
Yeah,
because we just talked a little bit about some of our process and how we look at those businesses. For our clients, the biggest need that we know that these brands and businesses need is that they need a marketing system, right? So many people are channel first. So many people are just chasing band-aid solutions, right? And they have nothing that's actually repeatable and predictable. On top of that, they also don't really understand how to connect that with real business KPIs, and that's what we do. So we try to speak the same language as the C-suite, as the business owners, because ultimately, when you're working with a director of marketing or a CMO or whatever, they're typically working with an agency or a freelancer, consultant, whatever. They're trying to take all the platform KPIs and whatever channel KPIs, then they translate that into a different type of language to go speak to the C-suite. What we do is we just make that less confusing, right? And we make sure that everything ties directly to what the owners and C-suite actually care about, which is typically revenue and
Hey,
profitability.
yes, I've met them. That's what they're
Yeah,
interested in. I
exactly.
also liked your repeatable and predictable. That is the
Mhm.
quest for the holy grail that the C-suite wants. If
Exactly.
we do X, Y money comes out over here. Yeah.
Yeah. And so many times, especially when it comes to content, for example, people say, let's take UGC, for example. Hey, we should be doing UGC. Let's go do that. Let's go chase after that. And then somebody maybe tasks a team to go reach out to somebody. Okay, cool. But instead, we create a system where we say, hey, maybe this is the data points that allow us to find the right creators and partners. Then we'll make that content. And then let's take the customer data and now enrich it and make sure that what we just created is actually speaking to that customer and then create a full feedback loop. So now you have some predictability and you understand what you did and why you did it.
Have you written a book yet?
I have not.
Okay, so I know Warren Buffett said, "Don't ask a barber if you need a haircut." So I am a book ghostwriter and publisher, and I don't normally say this on the podcast, but um, you have the answer to a mystery. There would be a lot of people who would like to read your book on how to solve that mystery in general, and then would hire you for the specifics. But let's talk
Yeah.
about what you're already doing because you're already successful, and you didn't ask for my advice. Oh,
Mhm.
but I'm asking what you do already to make it rain with right fit prospects.
Yeah. So when it comes to our own growth and making it rain for digital position, I think the way that we've found success is just to make our own content. So everything that we tell our clients to do, this is what we should be doing ourselves. And admittedly, for years, we did not do that, right? Because we're so busy working in the business, not on the business, as typical founder mentality or business owner mentality, and you kind of forget to actually share all the knowledge that you have. But as we create all these internal resources for new hires or just the team in general, and all the different processes, especially with AI, no process is really intellectual property at this point, right?
Right.
Or hardly any. So those are the types of things that we could just teach and give out for free because when it comes to execution and strategy, most businesses have no idea where to begin, or they don't have the right people in place to go execute or strategize properly.
Yeah. There's a famous old anecdote about a college football coach 100 years ago who the scout who was going to see their game missed the train, and so he gave them a copy of the playbook. And they at the other college they tried to figure out, was this psychological warfare or what was he doing? And then that next week, he used all the plays in the playbook to beat them. And a sports writer asked him about it. And he said, "Oh, it isn't the plays that win, it's the execution." So that's in
Yep.
your world too. It's the execution. It's not that we have some competitive advantage because of our proprietary process, um,
Exactly.
which, yeah, as you said, there's no more proprietary processes. Uh,
Yeah.
but there is execution, and that's where a lot of people mess up. Well, it was so great to talk to you today, Steve. What if there's one last thing you wanted to add? What would you like to say?
Okay, that's a good question. But I guess if there's businesses out there listening to this, it's not necessarily a pitch for digital position, but what I care about most for my clients and what I think all businesses should be doing is listening to their customers more, right? The answers to the tests are right there. Most businesses are not listening. They're not spending enough time engaging with their actual customer and they are treating them as a number, right? They are just a number in Google Ads or Meta. How can I dial up conversion rate? How can I dial up AOV in my in the number of conversions each day, right? When in reality, if they listened to their customers, they understood what types of product feedback they might have, what kind of questions they might have, you'd know what type of content to be making. You'd know where to post that content. You'd know what to be talking about, and you'd know what types of improvements to be making to the product or your business. So, super simple. This is not groundbreaking. It's not rocket science. All that information is out there for every business.
I gave a speech in Savannah, Georgia once, and in the middle, somebody shouted, "Preach!" which I found out was a good thing. They meant, and I would shout "preach" at you on that. When I'm coaching people on doing a book, I'll say, "Oh, the book's for this type of person. I want you to go interview 9 of them." And they're like, "What?" I said, "I want you to interview 9, ask them questions, and listen to what they have to say. They'll tell you what you need to know needs to be in this book." So
Exactly.
I love the wisdom that you're sharing with your clients there, and it allows you to do it at scale. Well, that's all the time we have for today. So I want to thank Steve, and to our viewers, until next time, make it rain. And we're out. I've got one more thing to do.